Okay, the handle process. So what we're working on right now is these are the threads, conversations, and when I open one of them, this is a subthread or a prompt or a reply. There's just the one because I soft submitted it, which is done like this. So you select the thread, you type some stuff, and then you can soft submit it, and that's not processed by the AI. That's just like popped into the thread. So, but another thing is when this is doesn't need to be selected, you hit process and nothing is happening. And in the console, I got this type error model is undefined. So the model is not being passed to the function. And so I gave OpenAI like the I gave it the bottom bar, which is this right here, the prompt input. I gave it the user context, which is used to pass different variables between different components without using state. And then I also gave it, what else did I give it? Let's see, I got them all open here. I gave it the accordion file, which is the component for the accordion. I gave it the prompt input, the profile modal, which is this right here, which is where we set defaults for like renaming, summarizing, and prompting, which is the main one. And then I gave it the user context, and I gave it the thread handlers. The thread handlers is like a huge file filled with various functions that do all sorts of stuff for the app. So I gave the AI like a bunch of context, and then I described the problem that I'm having, and it wants me to update the handle process function. So we're gonna search for that handle process, and it was probably the first result. Okay, yeah, here it is. So we're gonna copy this, and we're gonna take a look at how big this file is. 985 lines, and we're gonna find it again. Okay. Then we're gonna copy it in. Did I say 985? I hope I did. And so yeah, the file got bigger. Okay, so that's good. And yeah, usually when you ask it to rewrite something and it gives you back something smaller, it's because it's dropped something. And that's a great way to like destroy your project by having the AI randomly remove stuff. It loves to do that, and you have to give it constant reminders not to do it. Okay, so let's save the file. And I recently changed, there's, I think it's called WebKit or something like that. I changed some things in the project. They're all reloading, okay. Yeah, I guess, that kind of makes sense. This file is used by a lot of the different components, so it makes sense that when I update this, a lot of the different pages throughout the app are going to reload. But there's a thing called watch, and there was like dash watch when you run it in PM2, which controls running the Next.js project. I removed dash watch, and it's supposed to remove, like, whenever you update a page, all of the other pages and like everyone else looking at the app out there, when you update a page, it's going to update everyone's browser. And I'm trying to, I only have like a couple of users right now, but as more and more people are using it, you don't want to annoy people with constant reloads all the time. But some things you can't prevent. It should, if I'm just changing a component, it shouldn't be causing that same thing to happen. But I have, it may or may not. Like I'm kind of just when I run into things like this, I ask the AI about it. I see what I can do to reduce the disruptions. Okay, so we updated the function. And the page reloaded. Let's hit process. Yeah, it's asking me to select modal from the dropdown, even though one is selected. Let's select a different one and then try it. No, it's still asking me to select. Okay. Oops. I love it when I do that. It's still asking. It's asking me to select a model from the dropdown, even though one is already selected. I suspect that perhaps the variable isn't being attained from user context, question mark. It probably means the model isn't arriving to handle process. Okay, before I let it talk too much. Well, I don't know if in the accordion this variable is being passed down by prop drilling, or if we have updated it to user context. If we can get away with moving towards it being done with user context, that would be better. But we first want to look at the files and determine which way it's currently being done. Can you look at the files I have already given you and tell me? You know what's annoying is that often you'll give the AI files and it will write tutorials, basically instructions for like what you should be doing, like it's doing right now. Like it'll ask you to check a file that you already gave it. Like it already can look at it, but it won't just answer the question. It'll be like, well, you should go look. And you have to kind of wrangle it to like push it in the direction of like, no, you tell me. Like you're artificial intelligence, come on. What we know, in the accordion component, you are currently passing model from user context directly via user. Okay, good. This means model is being accessed from the context, and there's no sign of model being passed as a prop. Okay, that's good. In handle process, thread handlers, function is expecting the model to be passed as memory, but it's not clear from the files if you're doing so. Okay, yeah. So it's probably... Okay, so we want to probably, this is in the, we always want to remind, hey, in future instructions, when you show me code snippets or entire files, I want you to always make mention of the file name. Remember, okay. And I'm not going to submit that yet. I'm going to go into the accordion. I'm going to search for handle process, like in thread handlers. Okay. Um, it looks like it's already in there. Pass the model from context. There's even a comment. Oh, okay. So, yeah, I was seeing it up here, but they want to do it like in the use user. Okay, so I like your approach. Please update the function full and complete. Don't remove anything. This is my ultra lazy way of coding. I wonder if we can get some like copyright free electro wave YouTube. 80. Okay. Okay, still making the function. What do I look like on camera? Man in the dark, mostly. Okay, finish making the function. Let's swap it out. I hope I'm not like constantly pissing off my like my very few users by reloading the app all the time. I can only imagine that these kind of pressures only get worse as like you get 20 people, as you get 50 people, as you get several hundred people. It was like that with the gaming server, but nobody was paying for it, you know? Like, no, they were paying for ranks, but it wasn't like a ton of money, you know? See, does that triangle, it doesn't look, what's it called, equilateral? Or what's it called when it's a tetrahedron? A tetrahedron is 3D and is equal, all the lengths of the sides of the triangles are equal. Equilateral tetrahedron? Is that what you would call that? I think that some of the tetrahedrons in the loading animation are skewed? Is that what you would call it? I don't know. I asked it to make all the platonic solids, and then I also asked it to make I don't know what the shape is called, where it's like an inverted pyramid and then like a regular pyramid, and they're like merged. So it's like the Star of David, I guess, like 3D Star of David. What's that? Let's look that up. 3D Star of David. What is the tetrahedral? Yeah, that thing. The egg of life? No. I mean, 9 euros, or is that like... Yeah, it's got to be 39 euros. What's a combo like that? Europeans, okay. But yeah, this thing. Look at all these crafty people. Okay. I totally distracted myself. We updated the function and then it reloaded by process. Well, it didn't do the little warning and it's still invalid hook call. Current model. Okay, well, let's just show it that. Yeah, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to play retrowave while I'm coding. Copyright-free retrowave. Okay, so we're rolling back that function. Was that enough times to roll back? Retrowave and saxophones. Probably need to memoize a whole bunch of components. Sometimes it just takes a little bit long to load stuff, and there's probably some of those maintenance tasks. See, what's that called? Two tetrahedrons stuck together, like it's like the other one, but like a diamond shape. That's not like a diamond, like as in diamond on a ring that's been shaved. More like the natural, like whatever shape a diamond crystal naturally forms as. Okay. Okay, so we want to use okay. So we want to show it maybe we just want to show it this. Process click. Okay, so it uses this stuff to get variables from the user context, and then it uses this handle process click to do the processing. Okay, so let's do this. Okay, I will update the function in the thread handlers first, and then we will go back and update the accordion. says no changes are required, but like I want to make sure that my previous edits of it are rolled back. Save, okay. And then, so, okay, I see. Const API keys model, set model default. This one's not in there. To have all these comments in here every time. It's nice to be informed the first time, but and I'll leave this comment in here just to say what it's doing. Okay. And then we want to find handle process click. Here it is. Looks like that's the whole of it. Let's include the comment. Probably remove that eventually, but like, okay. It looks like it got shorter. So it looks. Current version so you can update it full and complete so we don't lose anything. Okay. Okay. Oh, okay. This is further up in the file. You might be doing something redundant, or is that okay? Question mark. I'm not going to spell check redundant. This track sounds vaguely familiar. Like it sounds like sometimes producers make, like, you ever heard a commercial and you're like, oh, that's like the B-grade version of this other song. They just changed it enough not to get tagged. from, like, what's that movie? Annihilation? Annihilation? I think there's like an eerie soundtrack. That's like such a weird movie. It's like alien, some sort of alien force in a particular area on Earth starts like causing an accelerated evolution of life forms within this like couple mile square area. A bunch of scientists go in to like investigate it, and they all starts going. Okay, let's see what you're right to point this out. It looks like there's potential redundancy between you're already further up in the file since you're already retrieving one. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I was right. Yeah, it was a cunt, so modifying that was yeah, I think it's like a much slower version. Yeah, this is like a remix of Blue Monday. It's like a remake, right? Most people should know Blue Monday. Just kind of looking it over. Okay. Yeah, it looks like just like a line or two got added. Okay, so our app is going to reload. I try not to have too many vices. Like, there's one vice that is like doesn't fully count women. In the past I've been a pot smoker, but I stopped smoking pot, and I'm not going to until I have at least 500 grand in the bank. But Zin is probably my current one vice. I don't drink. I don't do drugs. I mean, I used to when I was younger. Did all sorts of psychedelics. I probably should not be just broadcasting that on the internet. I don't know. I'm an old raver. So they say like on podcasts, like, or Mosey was talking about this, that like people to like build brands, like a personal brand, like with Joe Rogan, it's like psychedelics and like animal stuff, like hunting and like just like, did you see this tiger attack this guy, or like and then it's like what, like fitness or MMA and aliens. So like he's got like this constellation of things. I mean, he's like one of the biggest podcasters out there, but really like his content is just like this constellation of like erratic like interests, but like those particular combination, his like own weirdness is like forms his branding. So nowhere near Joe Rogan. I probably don't even have anybody watching this right now. But you know, you gotta start something. Let's see. So if I just hit process, it's processing. Okay. Now, do I like that? See, it processed and it updated the thread. It selected the thread. I don't know if I want it to remain selected afterwards. I can probably leave it for now, but it is like selecting it. There's the app has two different types of selectors. It has selectors on the accordions, so you can select multiple threads, and then theoretically, if you submit a prompt to it, it would like send that prompt to all those selected threads, and then it just did the reload thing. The sub accordions have a selector on the right hand side, and so the control bar at the top, it has a bunch of controls that affect all the threads, but like when it comes to like things where you would select something, the top bar is only affecting selected accordions, but the so like right here, like combine and combine copy, like those only apply, like you would select these two and combine them, or combine copy and make a new thread. But the controls in sub-accordions, like there's a button bar at the top of each accordion right here, but all of these controls affect this accordion, and like these controls right here, submit, duplicate, delete, soft delete, they only affect selected sub-accordions. So like these buttons only affect sub-accordions that are selected. So like if I select this one and I do soft delete like basically removes it from the thread, so that it's not processed by the AI, but like it's soft deleted. It hasn't truly been deleted. It still exists in the database. If you click it, you can recover it. But like if you don't want something processed by the AI, you can select it and soft delete it, and then so as other prompts and replies are added to this, if you reprocess the thread, then that one's not going to be considered. So that basically, you can have a big long conversation, and you've got like the delete button here. The tooltip is not showing for it. Okay, I don't have tooltips for this button bar. Okay, I gotta add that. Let's make a note of that. Add tooltips to sub-accordion applying I need to find a better way of communicating this concept. Like I was just explaining it to you, whoever you are, that yeah, like these selectors are activated by controls in the top bar, but these selectors for prompts and replies are activated. Yeah, I probably I just didn't have enough brevity when I was explaining it. But that's like probably the most complicated thing about my app, and it was just because I couldn't think of like a more simplistic way how to structure it. Yeah, there's just like I wanted controls that could affect multiple conversations and controls that affect the contents of those conversations. And like, yeah, I find that when building a product, often as you're building the product, you're adding more and more things to it, and then it starts getting more complicated. And then like the way you deal with that is you build up your own jargon of how to talk about your own thing, but then you go to someone else and like you're talking about it in this complicated way, and they have no relationship to having used it, so they don't know what the hell you're talking about. So, but then like in marketing, it becomes your task to simply communicate like what the thing does, and like that's easy when you're saying, oh, it's a multi-platform AI tool that lets you seamlessly switch from one platform to another, but like that's like a very general description of it. Like as I got further into my project, it became more clear that it's like a productivity and workflow tool that allows you to prioritize. Am I streaming again? Did it cut off for a second? I think it did. Okay, but I was using ChatGPT's like their built-in image generator in there to like work on the vision for that, and so this is a screenshot of her landing page, so you can probably see the similarity between what I made. So it's got like some code in the background. Hers is definitely like a bigger top bar, but and then I did like very like there was a dating coach guy, David D'Angelo, and he used to like publish a lot of newsletters, and like this is kind of what I think of when I think of what his newsletters look. He was like really good at writing copy for all that stuff. He just like pumped out like 8 pages of copy like every couple days. He'd be sending out like big things, and it was all like, it was clearly like funnels and like marketing and all that stuff. But I tried to like, you know, I did like the highlighting thing. I've seen that in so many copywriter stuff. I tried doing like, you know, these like quick things, headers, subheaders that you would see. It would like quickly summarize the different section, and then like, but yeah, this is like trying to suck people into not just APAI, but the overall idea for like Equilibrium Technologies, the parent company. APAI is one of the products of that company. But I was making these images, and so that was the template for what I have right now, and I still want to use that, but I want to use it in a smarter way. And like I like found these little underlining things, because I noticed that she did this right here, transform chaos into clarity. Like I kind of emulated that. But let's. Okay, this was one of the generations from OpenAI's like image generator, and you see like I tried to fix some of it, and you can see like I didn't fully get it out, but like I did get like the basic, like this is kind of like a retrowave style. Like this is what you see in a lot of their artwork, like this grid, a white gradient, like, and you usually see it in like a movie. Like, this is one of the animations that they play with their music. But I liked the laptop and like the image of it on the screen, but I'm probably I might go back and try to re-achieve that. Like at like some point have it zoom out. But I don't know, I think I just want the page to be a black background, a white gradient on the horizon, and like a grid. Bend it a little bit. When I made the loading animation for APAI, I discovered that like conversational AI with generating like cool 3D shit with JavaScript is like, it's just a matter of like talking it through. So I want to see if I can do that for the landing page. And maybe I won't build that on the site live because it'll cause all sorts of reloads. I will instead just try to make it on a file on my desktop. And so like that's this is the first image I got, and then I went and used their tools to like remove all the text, and I asked it to make a version with like fewer icons. But the way how I see this is like the loading animation, it's got the platonic solids like the dodecahedron, the icosahedron, the tetrahedron, and what's the cube 3D cube, and then that 2 inverted pyramids and the diamond. So how many is that? Dodecahedron, icosahedron, cube, tetrahedron, double inverted tetrahedron. That's what I'll call that. The Star of David, for lack of better words, and then like the diamond crystal. So 1, 2, 3, or that's 6. Okay, 6 is probably more than what I'm going to have in the start, but I'll just, like, what I want to do is have that retrowave style grid. I want it to be like moving, I guess, backwards so that it appears like it's constantly moving forward, and then I'll make those shapes with like the animations that are similar to the loading animation, but I'll simplify them, and they'll be like floating and rotating, and they'll have like a little bit of like a hovery movement to them, and when you mouse over them they'll get a little bit bigger, or like the animation will get more complex, so yeah, the idea, I just saw that image that ChatGPT generated with what's it called? Da Vinci? No. Leonardo? I forget what the generator. It's not their own image generator. They've got a built-in image generator. Yeah, so I want to produce a simplified version of that interface, like the horizon, maybe some big text at the top, like a header and a subheader, and then the icons at the bottom. And I'll probably start with like a few, like 3 or 4 of the shapes, but I'll eventually expand to at least all the platonic solids, or up to the 6. But yeah, I want it just to be like, I want it to look nice, and doesn't have to have a ton of functionality, but from somehow like the text at the top of it will, so there's in the Ruri or Ohama like replication, we will have the header and subheader at the top, and when you click on one of the icons, it's going to like constrain to that bar, and then it'll show all the sales copy below that. That's kind of the image for the landing page. Because like right now I haven't even like refined, there's like some of the text in here doesn't even fully like make sense for it, but like my basic idea is that plan, build, and design projects with AI, and then just kind of like go paste them through like a theme of the business, and then tell them about the particular product API, but then also expand out to like early access for promotional partners, and then like I also want to sell people on, because I'm not just building like my one SaaS product or my 2 SaaS products. I want to also kind of like sell people on like packages for business for like embedding API into their website, and like the way how I see it is be like, okay, you already have a website, but you want to make it more advanced, and you want to have like a publishing tool. Well, you'll be able to sign up for API and use it and generate content with that, and it'll have a built-in. I'll make the editing capabilities of API, and then I'm improving API by doing that. But it'll also have like, I'll be able to embed API into their website in terms of like publishing to their front end. And so they'll be able to like generate content on their website, but also have like a user-friendly interface, like a what you see is what you get kind of interface for like, you know, generating blogs or content for their page, and they'll have an interface for like doing that, and so it'll be user-friendly, but it'd be able to be embedded into their Next.js projects, or you know, like whatever platform they're using. Like that's basically where I'm going for. Like one of the things in my list, like as I was mentioning on my phone. Okay, so the landing page, troubleshooting the random reloads. Like I have to work on state and get more stuff into the context so I can limit some of these like occasional reloads that are happening. Tagging, that's a feature that I want to add to API, like threads, accordions, conversations, and prompts and replies, sub-accordions. I want to be able to have tagging in the accordions and sub-accordions, so that that'll be part of the organizational aspect of API, and you know, developing relationships. I was mentioning the folders and stuff like that. Well, if you got tagging going on, tagging has organizational interrelationships. Like you'll have one thread and it'll have this tag, and that tag is present in another thread. Well, like you found that there's like, have you ever heard of a mind map? I want to essentially have hierarchical organization. Like folders have hierarchical organization, and like tags work more like how the human mind works. Like you think about that one time where like I had a time when I was camping in Canada and I fell into a river and I almost went over a waterfall when I was like 13. And when you think about that, you think about like, well, the other times that I almost died. I was in Chicago one time and I was going to cross the street. There was a bus coming. A friend grabbed the back of my shirt and pulled me back. Like when you're thinking about things in your mind, it's usually the relationships between the different thoughts. Like you've got your neural network is interconnected by your experiences, and the way how we think is more like of a mind map than it is like a hierarchical relationships. But like mine, I used to use this app called Personal Brain, and Personal Brain was really cool because you could create a mind map, and then each different topic could have information appended to it, and save your links in there. You could have some files attached to it. Like I want to kind of go in that direction so that further down the list here is like a mind mapping type addition to APAI. I see that like that would be like a whole other value added product. Like you sell like $8 AI mind mapping. So multi-threaded prompt processing, that's for when you're submitting prompts to multiple threads at once, which is a feature that you can do in the app currently. So you can select a bunch of the threads, and you can write a prompt and then submit it, and it'll get submitted to all the selected threads, and then those threads will process with that prompt. So you can do individual edits, you can do soft submits to each thread, and then edit those, put unique information in a bunch of different threads, and then like grab all those threads and then submit a prompt to all of them, and they'll all process. But like I haven't really run into it yet. I haven't had failed prompts because I've been selecting too many, but it's kind of anticipatable that when you're like sending a whole bunch of prompts to an AI, there's probably a limit at some point where like the request timeout you'll exceed the timeout, and then some of them won't get processed. So one of the things I want to add is multi-threaded prompt prompting. Create a particular modal so that when you submit a request